Welcome back to the Political Theater, everybody. Thank you guys for joining me this evening. Sorry, here I'm having a camera issue. There we go. Welcome back to the Political Theater, guys. Thank you guys for joining me this evening on Tuesday. It has been another interesting day watching the Iran conflict. We've also got the Senate campaigns, the two primary campaigns that are going on down in Texas tonight. Looks like there are some interesting results that are coming through on that as we speak, as we're going through it right now. But the big thing I want to talk about this evening before we do anything else, we're going to have to talk about the bombs that are continuing to fall in Iran. I think the bombings are just going to have to continue until morale improves. So we're going to go over that, and we're going to talk about all the updates that have come out of that today. There's going to be another press conference tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., guys. So make sure you guys, if you're up that early, make sure you guys watch that press conference. That was a pretty interesting press conference last time with Pete Hegseth and General Kane. I'm not sure if it's going to be both of them this time. I didn't look to see if it's both of them this time, but I know that at least there's going to be a press conference in the morning. So that'll be that update for that. Before we do anything else, so guys, make sure you guys share the space out. Make sure you guys share the link out if you guys are listening to us on Substack, Rumble, maybe wherever you guys may be tuning into us, guys. Make sure you guys leave us a review, or if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, that always helps. And if you want to support this show, go to wcdispatch.com, and there's a lot of interesting things there that can help you do all sorts of stuff. So make sure you guys go check that out. And you support the show. It's only me that does this. There's no one that helps me. So, all right, so let's get into Iran. It looks to me, and everybody that has been last night, we got into a little bit of what they were talking about the media, and it got worse today. The idiocy that we're somehow running out of ammo. This is all going terribly. Nothing's going to plan. Trump didn't do it. They didn't plan any logistics at all. It's infuriating to me to listen to this. How exactly do you think we just moved half of the, a significant portion of our fleet just got moved over there and we had no logistics behind it at all? I guess I just don't understand. I mean, how do you, like, there's suddenly, and you can always tell when things are going well, and because no one actually knows, but there's suddenly a plethora of new experts that have arrived. There's hundreds of geopolitical experts that will come on and tell us everything about what Trump is doing wrong and how he didn't prepare for this, that he didn't know what he was doing. Yeah, well, sorry, guys. I just don't, your expert class is not very interesting to me. I guess I just don't care what the expert class thinks, because they've been wrong about everything forever. And it seems to me that, there's almost no more ballistic missiles going out. There was another base hit earlier today. It looks like they hit Al Udeid, or whatever the hell the name of the place is. The one in Qatar, the largest air base over there. So they hit that earlier. But I haven't heard anything about casualty reports. But now we've got B-52s flying over top of Iran. We've got B-1 bombers doing bombing runs over top of Iran. Tehran is completely air superiority. There is nothing left of their air defenses, and they're not able to launch as much stuff anymore. So it doesn't look like it's going very well for them. I'll say that much. Does not look like it's going very well for them at all. Of course, everybody wants to talk about whether or not this is going to be weeks, months, and whatever the hell it may be. I'm not too concerned. I'll say that so far. I'm not really all that concerned as of right now. It doesn't appear to me that things are going out of plan. Looks like the CENTCOM gave us a really interesting update. I don't know if you guys watched that. They said that there's already, hundreds of aircraft. There's 50,000 troops that are already deployed assisting with this operation. Looks to me like, the Department of War actually may know what they're doing. And, one thing we're actually good at is blowing shit up. And it turns out that we're pretty good at that. We'll see what the next phase of this. There's a bunch of talk about whether or not the CIA is trying to get Kurdish people to come in and help them or something like that. I don't know. Okay. I mean, the fact that they're just that leaked online, that people are talking about it, gives me less reason to believe that it's true. Why on earth would the CIA just randomly spout online that we're looking for Kurdish speaking private military contractors? I'm not really sure I buy all of that, but we'll see. As of right now, it looks like things are going pretty well in the Iran conflict. I mean, the idea that we're somehow not doing well and then this isn't going well. Of course, the Iranians, they keep telling us that soon they're going to release the next generation weapons. Well, I would say that, you probably better start. If you've got them, you should probably really use those things if you've got them, because so far it's not going so well for you. I think the only thing they really have the ability to launch right now are drones. It looks like they're sending tons of their drones out. It looks like the UAE's been getting lots of those. So they're sending tons of their drones into Dubai. But again, it doesn't appear that there's really that much going on outside of that. I mean, there's just constant bombing barrages going on over top of Tehran as we speak right now from our people. But I don't think that it's going too well for them. It does not appear that that's the case. But we also want to talk about the Senate primary race because I need to pull this back up real quick. I need to see where we are at. It looked like Tallarico, which is one of the Democrat challengers, it was Crockett and Tallarico was the two candidates that were even remotely competitive there. And it looks like Tallarico was running away with it last time I looked at the polls, which is going to be very interesting. I am very interested to see the meltdown from Team Crockett. I want to hear what the meltdown from Team Crockett's going to be like. Is it going to be because Tallarico is racist? I'm not sure how it's going to go, but we'll see. I will say that for the Democrats, at least, this was the only person that could actually have any shot whatsoever. I still don't think he has much of a shot in a Republican, in Texas, but he's got a hell of a lot more of a shot than Crockett does. I'll say that. So not stupid enough to put Crockett into this position, at least is from what I can see. And if you guys go into the, I think 270 to win, which is one of the polling locations you can watch, they actually have a Kalshi betting market sitting up above. Above the results, which is just hilarious. I love that Kalshi and betting markets are everywhere now. It's just we bet on everything that exists nowadays. That's just how it works now. But we'll be talking about that primary as we go through the night. I assume we'll finally get full results probably within an hour or two. But we'll be watching that throughout the night this evening. And if there's any updates that come out of Iran, we'll obviously talk about that. But I don't think there's really a whole lot more to talk about other than what CENTCOM said. CENTCOM has essentially said that we've sank their entire Navy. They don't have an air force. They have no air defenses whatsoever, and we have full air superiority, and we're bombing the crap out of them. So, again, I think the bombing will continue until morale improves. Chris, you came up on the show, buddy. What's happening, man?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Oh, another night. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Well, first off, to double back from our show yesterday, I think we were pretty. I know I said that. I thought she was going to get blown out. I mean, the polling was just showing that. And now, interestingly enough, in some of the urban areas, the voting count has suddenly stopped, so we could see, the machine kick in. But
well, I don't know, dude.
But I don't think I think the spread's too big, and
Yeah.
and I don't think that she has a chance. I don't know that she ever really had a chance. Which is probably a really good. The other thing I think that was a huge story, and we can pivot to this here afterwards if you want, is President Trump's announcement on the maritime insurance.
Yeah, that's actually a big deal. I did want to talk about that. That's probably the biggest news that actually came out today. The maritime insurance has been essentially owned by one group for, I don't know, ever. So if this actually changes, that could be. That's a pretty big thing to change, to be honest with you. So if we start to take away from what is the name of the group?
Lloyd's of London. That's
yeah.
The UK. That's the UK elite.
Yeah. Well, if that happens, that's a huge change for maritime insurance and everything else. I mean, that's a massive change. But the other side of that is that there's the Iranian Navy doesn't exist anymore. So I mean, I'm not really sure. They'd be insane to not offer the same insurance rates they were offering before, unless they're really worried about from the shore hitting boats. The problem with the Iranian stuff, guys, is that their missiles aren't accurate enough to actually hit vessels in the water that are moving. So I'm not really sure why everyone talks about them. And it's not like the Iranians have missiles like us where we can fly them into your window and explode them. And that's not what they've got. They just kind of launch them in the general direction of things and hope that they hit it. I mean, that's usually how it works for them.
Well, but the thing is, Lloyd's of London is a huge insurer, especially on high risk property, high risk maritime, vessels, things like that. And so I actually think that this is a long-term money move that the president has made to put the United States government as the backer of this maritime, and then the protection of the United States Navy. I don't know if we're going to see a rise in the merchant marines, or what that's going to look like. But the point is that's, I think, the policies. I was looking somewhere on the policies of that, and it was like a low end policy was around, I think it was 50,000 or 75,000 per day or something like that. I mean, so And these are not cheap policies. And
Well, I mean,
Lloyd's of London,
they've owned it forever. I mean, Lloyd's of London's owned it forever. But not only that, it's they also ramp it up whenever there's wartime stuff. So that's what normally actually increases the price of oil, unless they actually close the Strait of Hormuz. The actual real increases is from the Lloyd's of London, the insurance costs going up on this stuff because they already have essentially wartime insurance in those areas, but they ramp it up even higher, and sometimes they'll even drop if it gets bad enough. Which is normally where the prices increases come from in the first place. Okay, I'm pulling back up the Texas primary results right now. I needed to pull it back up from a second ago, so I wanted to see where we are at currently. Maine, you came up here. I wonder if you've already got it up right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm watching it. Yeah, good evening, everybody. Yeah, so listen, I've been pretty broken record on this again. If you don't know me, I'm pretty much, Democrat here, but I've been I endorsed Tallarico, at least on my account, about a week and a half ago. He's going to win. He's up 8 right now, 40% in, and running all the models and everything. The only way I can see this getting anywhere to a point where she could get it close to inside of 3 points is Dallas. And the only reason why Dallas hasn't come in yet is the state of Texas changed the way that they do primaries. Texas is an open primary state. And I went through the decision because there was some from the written order from the judge because it's a little convoluted. But Texas, a couple of years, I think it was last year, or the year before, changed the way that they conduct primaries. It's always been an open primary, but both parties usually used to share polling locations. They no longer do that. And the Texas Democratic Party wanted to extend hours because of the long lines and the confusion in these new precincts. So they actually went to the Texas GOP and said, "Hey, we're going to sue to get extra hours. Do you want in?" And the Texas Republican Party declined to join the suit. So the ruling came out, and the Democratic districts where you can go vote as a Democrat are being extended for a couple. Well, they're closed now, 9 o'clock their time. So that's why that is. It's not like any kind
I
of
think
like
that
nefarious
means they've
shit. It's
got.
just Texas is weird.
I think that means they got 40 more minutes, right? Central time,
Yeah,
Texas time. So
yeah,
yeah, so they got
yeah.
40 more
So
minutes on that.
that's going to be Jasmine's best bet to get it close. Model I had going into it was going to be Tallarico 2 to 4. I've bumped it now to 3 to 5. He's overperforming in some of these areas. What I'm most interested in, that's going to be fascinating about this particular race, is the demographic breakdown. I was in another space with Adam Carlson and some others, and it's going to be really close to see that Tallarico might actually overperform with Hispanic voters than he does with white voters, which is interesting in Texas for this year because it goes with this idea in Texas that the Hispanic voting bloc is making a major shift. So that's really interesting. And the other two races I'm watching in Texas tonight is Texas 23. That's Tony Gonzalez. That's the embroiled Republican congressman with that
Yeah,
gross
I can't
controversy
believe
of
he
the
didn't
affair.
drop out.
It's crazy. He's up right now, but it is tight, man. It's like 43, 42. That's going to go right down to the wire in that part there. And again, Texas, you have to get 50% plus one, or you have runoffs. So watch that race. And then the other congressional race I'm watching, just because I love this, is Texas 31. And that is one of my most favorite Republicans in the country. That is Valentina Gomez, career grifter.
she
Uh,
wait, she moved from. I forgot she
Dude,
moved from
like
St. Louis.
yeah, dude, I can't do it with her. Like, I mean, I know people seem to like her and they think she's popular, but I mean, I can't take it seriously. I
well, I
can't do it.
think we're seeing the end. She's a distant third. John Carter, who's 185 years old, he's 84. Who's been there forever, is got 60% of the vote. She's got 8%. She's got 2,000 votes. He's got 15,000. So Gomez is done. Hopefully, this is the end. And by the way, the funny part about that race is that Gomez fucked up her voter registration because she made her address a PO box, so she can't actually vote for herself tonight.
Oh my god.
She's
Well
Which is
done.
hysterical,
That's just
just
fantastic.
fantastic.
Wasn't Tallarico a county executive or something over there in Fort Worth or wherever? Or
He's from Austin. He's from
okay,
Austin. Yeah, he's from Austin. And then of course the Republican primary there from the Senate is fascinating to me. And this just is just piggybacking off the idea that the Texas Republican Party didn't join the suit, which tells me that they want to run off here, right? So last I checked, last update I have is Cornyn is 42, basically 43 to 40 right now. Again, has to get 50% plus one. Wesley Hunt's playing spoiler here. Wesley Hunt's got almost 14% of the vote.
Yeah.
So that tells you everything. If they didn't push to get Hunt out of the race, if they didn't extend voting hours, the Texas Republican Party and the DC establishment, they want a runoff here, which is fascinating to me. And you'll see it. I absolutely, Walter knows this. I've been saying this since this primary started to get really, really heated. The president will get involved in this race when it goes to a primary. There is no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's any chance that he's not going to endorse Paxton, to be honest with you. I mean, this is a long-standing problem that he has with it. You said that you think he's going to go after Cornyn. I don't think so. I don't think he wants Cornyn in there at all. I think he wants Paxton. And Paxton is doing very, very well in these rural counties. I keep watching this. He is creeping up on Cornyn already. He's at 40% now.
That was his model.
Yeah, I mean, he's done really well.
Right. Yeah, Cornyn is Texas GOP establishment. Paxton's the outsider here. The only way I see Trump endorsing Cornyn is if Cornyn begs, right? If Cornyn goes into that office and says, "I'll do whatever you want me to do."
Yeah, if he grovels,
right? Like,
if he grovels, yeah, then that might happen. He'd have to grovel a lot though. He pissed off Trump a while ago, so I'm not really sure if he's actually going to go forward with that or not. So
do you think?
We'll see.
Do you think we'll see some? You think we'll see the Senate GOP go to Trump over the SAVE Act to get him to support Cornyn if there's a runoff?
I don't know. It's interesting because I don't see the SAVE Act going anywhere in the Senate. I really don't. You got to get the 60 votes. You're not going to get there. So unless there's some structural changes to it, and because Thune is an institutionalist, he's not going to invoke the filibuster, to nuke the filibuster. So really, I don't think that's playing much at all here. But I will tell you this, as a Democrat, and I like Tallarico a lot. A lot. I like his style. I like the way that he has crossover appeal to working class voters, things of that nature. If it's Paxton, I would much rather have Tallarico against Paxton. Texas is interesting, especially the Republican Party in Texas, because Texas Republicans will vote for a bag of dog shit if the bag of dog shit is wearing a Texas GOP hat, right? Like, they can have a very divisive primary. They will come home. I remind you, there are more Democrats in Texas, registered Democrats in Texas, than there are registered Republicans, right? Thing is that Democrats in Texas don't show up to vote. That's always been the issue. And the other part is too, with open primaries, you cannot register in Texas as an independent. You can't. So there's that little tidbit too that kind of convolutes this. So we'll see where this lands, but if it is Paxton, he's got a lot more baggage he's going to have to defend, and I think Cornyn would have an easier time simply because he can get the folks that say, "Oh yeah, I know that guy." You know what I mean? It's the same reason Susan Collins, who doesn't do anything spectacular.
Well, but the problem, but at the same time, Paxton himself has already won statewide races more than once. So, it's not like there's much of a name ID difference in Texas specifically for the two of them. They all know who John Cornyn is, and they all know who Ken Paxton is. I think Ken Paxton's probably going to be just fine because he'd have the full backing of the administration. I don't think that there's. I know you. I agree with you on the fact that it's possible that if Cornyn grovels like a whole lot, that then maybe Trump will endorse him. Like, I mean, maybe, but that would be a lot of groveling. That would have to be like on his knees groveling, which might happen. You never know.
He may. And the other thing here too is we were talking about this in a chat a few days ago before the world started to end. That the other thing that Trump can do here is not endorse, but do like the implied endorsement, right? That's a really good tool where you show up to an event, you put your arm around a guy, you don't like endorse the guy or anything like that. You do some kind of an event where there's no endorsement in his official role as a U.S. senator, right? So I could see that happening too, because in this situation for Cornyn, a lack of endorsement for Paxton is just as good as endorsement for him.
Yeah, that would be true, actually. That is true. We'll see. Looks like another update came through. I will say that the betting markets still hold Paxton at 72% to win today. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know what exactly they're watching specifically on that. I will say that his rural numbers have come in really hot. So we'll see if this actually starts to tick away. But, we're at 50% of the vote reporting now. We'll see if Paxton actually manages to pull this off. Now, I didn't look at the actual terms on these betting markets, are they actually including? Does that mean he has to win outright, or is that
I think so. Yeah, I'm
because
pretty
they would
sure
runoff would
that's
be a different election, right? I mean, that's not considered the same
correct.
thing. So I don't know. I'd
That's
have to
correct.
double check the terms on some of these Kalshi markets or poly markets and see what they say. But they still say they think that Paxton is going to win. 73%.
Yeah.
So
Here's something really interesting too. Tallarico and Paxton are running the same type of race, right? So Tallarico and Paxton are running what I call the Trump model in elections, which is run up the score in what we would call in the Democratic Party moderate counties, conservative counties, and then compete in the urbans. Right. That's precisely what Tallarico is doing. I'm looking at some of these numbers in some of these rural counties, and they're crazy. Like he's got 75-25, 71-30, 58-36, right? In these smaller counties, he's really 77-18, right? And he's in the urban counties, he's getting beat in some of these, but he's competitive. It's not like a wipeout. So it's very, very similar to what Paxton is doing, which is running up the score in the rurals, right? It's
well, the other
interesting, and
part of it that I'm
that's what makes the race
noticing,
interesting.
what I think is interesting to me more than that is that the actual vote totals are really close for the primary on both sides, which is not normal. So that's pretty interesting that you're seeing a very, very close parity between the actual vote totals between Democrats and Republicans in this, because generally Republicans are bad at showing up for primaries anyway, and generally the Democrats in Texas just don't show up to vote anyway at all. So it's very interesting that they're actually very close. So it looks like the Democrats actually have a small lead in the primary numbers right now.
Yeah, the turnout in this Texas primary is insane all across the board. But I think both parties are ahead of all totals from the primaries in 24, 22, 20, and 18, which is pretty intense for an off-year election. Um, One thing with Democrats, though, Tallarico has up almost 8.7, 54-45. This other Democrat here, Hassan, is 1.1%. If that number gets anywhere close to 1.5 to 1.7, 1.8, that's when, as a Tallarico person that I hope comes out of this tonight, so we don't have to run another election, that makes me nervous. Because if that number gets that high, that's a spoiler effect, right? That's enough to where Tallarico, if Crockett, when these Dallas numbers come in here in about a half an hour, is where she can make this up. I could absolutely seeing this like 49-48, and then this guy Hassan somewhere getting like 1.7, 1.8, 1.9.
Yeah,
And
if
playing
that would be
spoiler here.
something else. If he manages to pull just enough to throw it into a runoff, that would piss a lot of people off. I will say that, but
Yeah.
I will. But just looking at the betting markets on this, say that Tallarico has won. I mean, it's 99%. So normally the betting markets, I know we talked about this before. The betting markets it's difficult to actually use them, and they're a data point. But generally speaking, the people that bet in these things actually know what they're doing, especially on the day of. So I would not be surprised if that is accurate. That Tellerico is about to pull this off. And it's still interesting to me watching the Republican side, because they're still saying Paxton must win, is going to win by 73%. That's very interesting to me, because 50% reporting already and it's 40-43. That means that Paxton is going to be making up some serious numbers somewhere else if people are betting on that. So we'll have to see what they do here, but I don't know.
What I'd
Well, and
like to
most of
know,
these models use AI models as well anyway. You know what I mean? So that's why
yeah,
that's why the betting markets are actually getting more accurate than polling even.
what I'm most interested to know about the polling markets, though, because 99% they're calling this a sure thing. I'd be interested to know if their modeling has considered that we haven't gotten one vote from Dallas yet, right? The Dallas numbers in the Democratic side haven't come in yet, right? So that's why I'm putting a little pause on the prediction markets. And I've said this to you: I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I play a lot of poker, and I have never in my life played online, because I am 100% sure that the online stuff where I can't see the fucking cards is rigged for action. It's the same, but same mindset I have with the prediction markets, right? They want action. They want you to make the bets, so they make it as attractive as possible for people to go in there. So I would just say that. So I'm trying to find out, and I'd be interested to know if in these numbers and their prediction of 99%, if Dallas has even been a factor in that. I'm going to assume not. at a 99% clip.
Well, I don't know. I mean, normally they actually start to adjust based on news, so we'll see. Because the news, when it came out that they were extending the polling times in Dallas, you would think that they would have seen something like that, and theoretically, that's going to be where Jasmine Crockett gets the highest numbers, right? So you would think they have to throw that in there, but we'll see. Carlos, you came up here and you put your hand up. What's up, buddy?
No, I was just gonna say, man. No, man, it's over. The Poly market said she's gonna win by probably 13 points.
Wait, what now? You got to speak louder, buddy. You're talking real quiet.
Hear me?
We can barely hear you, man. Your mic is very muted, muffled, whatever the problem is. You're going to have to fix it. We can't hear you. All right. Well, anyway, while he works on that, he said something about it's over. She's going to win. I don't hear that, and I don't see that.
No. Hear me now?
Barely, dude. What? You could try and talk though. Go ahead.
No, he's gonna win by 13.
Oh, Tallarico's going to win by 13?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about by 13. That seems
I
a
think
bit
that's high.
Yeah, that seems by high.
Yeah. The reason why, again, that just tells me again that they're not factoring in Dallas, right? That's like factoring in that Dallas is going to stay at 0. Listen, he's up almost 9. It's 8.7. He's got 46% of the vote in. We haven't gotten one vote in Dallas yet, just because they've got another 25 minutes in voting time. It's. I already tweeted it. I've seen enough in the data and the models I ran. It's going to be Tallarico. It'll be somewhere between 3 and 5, and maybe 6, but it won't be much more than that.
Yeah, we'll see.
And he'll win it outright. He'll win it outright.
Yeah, I think Tallarico's got it. I'm still watching here the Republican side. Cornyn is not gaining a whole lot more votes as it continues to update, and Paxton is gaining on him now, so he's pretty close to being able to take him over now. He's now off by less than 30,000. So I'm curious to see where they're going to get these numbers to be able to get up to that 73% margin that they're claiming he's going to win by. So I mean, there's going to be a lot more votes somewhere that's coming in. I'm not sure where exactly those are going to come from for him. And maybe they're saying that all of these smaller counties are going to end up being Paxton. Maybe that would be impressive.
Maybe El Paso's still out. Hidalgo is still out. You got some of the border counties still out. Presidio is still out. Brewster's still out. You got some up in the Panhandle, Lipscomb. Some of those really, really small counties where there's more cactus than trees, cactus than people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Van Zant is still out. So you still got some pretty. Tyler is still out.
Yeah, we'll have to see. So, I mean, it's just we'll watch this throughout the night. We'll keep watching to see what the updates are. It doesn't look like there's been much change on the betting markets, at least. I haven't looked at Poly Market yet. I guess I'll go check and see what Poly Market says for Paxton real quick and see what they have for that, because that's Kalshi on there. So let me see here. And that's pretty much mirroring exactly what the Kalshi market's saying, 72, 73% that Paxton wins.
But what is it saying about the use of nukes? Can I get the update on that one?
Listen, we bet on everything now, apparently. I mean, this is one of the things about these prediction markets. It's ridiculous. I mean, if you guys didn't see, there was a big controversy that came out a couple days ago from Kalshi. They had a market open that the Khamenei would be out as supreme leader. And a bunch of people bet on that, and then he died, and then they canceled the market because they said, we don't want to profit from death. And then everybody freaked out on them. And now they have it changed so that you can bet on death, but it's just if it's, whenever he dies at, wherever the person that the ticket dies at, that's when the market closes. So you don't get the full winnings if he dies. I mean, it's just, it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous.
Rigged. Totally rigged.
Well, I mean, listen, the betting markets are completely unregulated, essentially. So yes, Poly Market especially is completely unregulated. Now I know Kalshi has some openings in it now because it is technically an American group, but I don't know.
Putting my Bernie Sanders on for a second. It's rigged. It's a rigged system. Everybody is out of it. The insiders, the elites, they get all the inside info. It's all rigged. Whole thing's rigged.
Whole thing is rigged. Well, we'll see. Looks like there is, I'm going to say that it'd be very difficult for Jasmine Crockett to make up enough ground at this point, though. He's up by 100,000 now. I do not think so.
She'd have to run, I'm just doing back of a napkin math, 80-20 in Dallas.
That's the number I had.
Yeah, at least.
About 80-20. Yeah, at this point, it might even be more than that. Madelai had 80-20. He's up 9. There's more vote coming in now. And Coleman, it's another small county. Brown, yeah, she's that's probably bumped up now to about 85-15. He's still up 8.5. Yeah, he's got just under 100,000 vote lead. So
Yeah, and just for some reference, and since it seems that our numbers are being pretty much mirrored between Republican and Democrat here, all of the votes in Texas, in Dallas, that are in as of right now, it's 65,000 votes for the Republicans in Dallas. So that gives you a probably, I would say there's probably 40% more that are going to be in the Democrats in Dallas. So you're looking at maybe 100,000 for Crockett there, maybe.
give or take, yeah.
Looks like we still don't have anything from El
it's done.
Paso.
Yeah, it's done. Well, my Texas judge is El Paso in the same. They're in the same time zone, right?
Actually,
they're mountains.
Yeah, no,
They're
they're mountain.
mountain.
Yeah, that's the divide is over there. So they
Yeah.
would be mountain time.
My brother just moved from El Paso to Austin.
Yeah.
So they got some more time.
Yeah, they got another. They get well. Actually, wouldn't they be closing because they extended it, right? So they're
Yeah, so
they're going to be
20
closing the
minutes.
same time as Dallas. Yeah, they're going to be closing the same time as Dallas for the Democrats. Jared, you got your hand up, buddy. What's up? Jared. Earth to Jared. All right, never mind. No Jared. Anyway, we'll keep watching this as we continue to go through this. Quality Leering Center. You came up here. Wait, no, Jared, you here now? Can you talk now? No, Jared.
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, there
Sorry
he is.
about that.
What's up, buddy?
Hey guys. Good to see you and me. I woke up this morning to you two guys going at each other. So can you guys like give me like a summarize like what's happening? Because I'm out with my in-laws right now. I haven't been able to like. So is
Your best friend Jasmine Crockett's getting mopped.
Yeah, she's getting mopped, dude. She's getting wiped.
well? So are you guys saying it's not going to go? It's not going to a runoff in the Democrat?
It doesn't
side?
look like it.
It's more.
Yeah, it really
It's gonna
doesn't.
be about-
Yeah, it's
It's
gonna.
gonna be Tallarico between 3 and 6 points right now. There's no Dallas vote in because they extended the polling for an hour. You have another 19 minutes there. She's gonna have to run 85-15 to win.
Yeah.
Not win, but make it close. He's up almost 9 right now, 100,000 votes. He's gonna win by about 3-6 points, somewhere in there.
He keeps extending it. They just updated it again. He's over 100,000 now. I mean, there's Crockett's not going to win, which, for Democrats, let me say again, for Democrats, that is the best possible result for them. Okay. Crockett would have been a disaster. She would have lost by 12 points. I mean, she would have been a nightmare. So that would not have worked.
Yeah, I agree, and I was, I absolutely agree. I think she's a great congresswoman. I know my cousin actually owns a salon in the Houston area, and she's met her and her fiance has met Congressman Crockett numerous times. She's always out in Houston, always with her community. Every time she's not in Washington. So how is it looking for Paxton and Cornyn? How's that looking right now?
It's narrowing as we get closer to it. The betting markets still have Paxton winning by 70%. But I'll say that I'm not really sure. That might, to me, I don't know if I would be taking that bet. I'll say that much because there is 54% in right now, and it's 43-40 Ken Paxton. Or I'm sorry, John Cornyn is up 3 points right now. Now, every time it updates, I will say that Paxton gains a lot more ground than Cornyn does. So we'll see. But, I mean, the betting markets are saying 70% for Paxton in this scenario. So I'm not, I don't know. I still am thinking that that's probably going to be a runoff, especially with Wesley Hunt getting 150,000 votes. But I don't know. I mean, maybe people are seeing something we're not. I don't know what it is. That there must be a lot of ground that he's going to make up in some of these rural counties. That's the only thing I can think.
Gotcha. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. Listen, I think I made a post this morning. We have two great candidates, right? And I hope Jasmine Crockett does come over and give 100% throat-in endorsement to Mr. Tallarico. I think he deserves it. I think he's earned it. I think he's earned the reputation as well. So even before the candidates got in this race, I was hoping that this would not get bitter. They would not seep low. And honestly, power to Jasmine Crockett. I don't know what you think here, Mean, but I was predicting Jasmine Crockett to get very low with Tallarico. I was expecting to be a very bitter race, and it's just like That has not happened. I mean, just for the exception of the even in the debate, it was a pretty calm, cool, and collective debate. And I know obviously there was some controversy surrounding Tallarico going on late night. I think it was with Stephen Colbert, maybe Jimmy Kimmel, I'm not sure. But that was really, um,
Oh, see,
great controversy
I'm actually on
between
the
the two
opposite side of this.
candidates.
I'm hoping that we get a full crash out from Jasmine Crockett because that would just make my day.
Yeah,
That's what I hope we get that because that would just be hilarious.
I don't think so. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I
No,
don't think so. I
I
mean,
honestly don't see that coming.
no. I don't see that either. And listen, she didn't really have any big negative stuff about James. I mean, like they, classic, attack ads because to be honest, they're both pretty on the nose when it comes to where they stand on majority of the issues.
Policy.
She's right on policy. They're pretty close. I mean, she's a little bit to the left, I would argue, on a few things, but the thing that bothered me about Jasmine, and I love Jasmine for a couple of reasons. I actually like her style as a congresswoman. She's fantastic in hearings. Like I enjoy that. It's the same thing Harris was in hearings because she's both lawyers. They would be very, very prosecutorial and hearings, that sort of thing. And then Jasmine has her own political theater, if I may, to the way she conducts herself in Congress. And I'm okay with that because it drives the far right end of the Republican Party absolutely batshit, which I'm all for.
well, I don't
What
think to
bothered
me,
me,
what the real, I don't really care about the political theater part of it.
not you,
D-
not
No,
you,
no,
not
no,
you, not
no.
you, not
But
you.
listen, the way that I describe it to people is that, yeah, she drives people nuts. But the problem is that what she's doing is she's raising money. Okay. Like that's what that is.
Right,
That's
what they do.
fundraising. That's
That's the
fundraising.
theater.
So,
That's the exactly. So last thing I'll say is the thing that bothered me about Jazz in this race is I never saw Tallarico go negative. He didn't. It's not his style. I saw him at an event, video or footage at an event talking positive things about Jasmine, and I didn't hear any of that. Instead, there was a moment where Jasmine went on this soliloquy about the consultants that are working on a campaign, which it's an interesting closing argument. It is what it is. But listen, I think she's incredible. I think she's got a bright future, not just in the party, but I think in Texas. It's interesting to see where she goes next. I think gerrymandering her out of her seat tells you precisely what the Texas Republican Party fears, which is Crockett. So it'd be interesting to see where she goes from
that
there.
I
I
that
imagine.
I'm gonna have to just disagree with you on. I don't think she's got anything in Texas. Now she'll probably move to another state, but I don't think she's got a shot in hell
Oh
anywhere
no,
in
no. I
Texas.
think I think I think she's got a big following in Dallas. They've got a mayoral coming up, I think, next year. So that's interesting for her.
Now
And
that
then
would
it's a
be
demographic,
interesting. Mayor
right?
Crockett. Now that would be
Yeah,
something. If they get
in
Mayor
Dallas,
Crockett in there in Dallas, now that would be, man, that would be something. So maybe you're
and
right.
that
Maybe
sets her
that's
up.
possible. But outside of that, I don't think so, buddy. I don't think she's got a shot in hell getting back into the House at least. But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the House, one race that no one's mentioned yet here. I don't know if you guys have looked at the numbers in Texas House District 2, but Crenshaw is, based off what I'm seeing, only has 39%. Steve Toth is this is that that's the guy in the primary, right?
Yeah,
Is at 57,
Yeah,
57%.
yeah. Toth, it looks like
yeah.
he's running away with that right now. He's up. Well, I mean,
They're
running away with
calling
it
it
is
for
kind of.
Dan Crenshaw. They're saying that he's lost. So
They're
Yeah, I
saying
mean, he's.
Crenshaw's lost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
Crenshaw's done.
he's
Yeah,
lost his
Crenshaw's done.
primary.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
done.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I mean, Walter, I've said this. I actually prefer Jasmine Crockett in the lower chamber, and I mean, I think she gets more airtime. She gets obviously she goes on the shows. People like her, and yeah, there's not really much difference of policy style. It's more of the mannerisms. Whereas both of these candidates are trying to obviously go after Ken Paxton, who's just literally there to be a showman for Donald Trump and do his bidding. So,
I mean,
and
I
we
mean,
Walter,
got, we got,
Dan.
we. I mean, I know that's your opinion, but the dude was an attorney general, and I mean, like, he's not just a showman there to do Donald Trump's
he
bidding.
is that
So, I
that
mean,
that,
No, he's
that
not.
that's
that's.
your opinion, but like, let's give him some credibility as a statewide official in Texas.
Yeah, dude,
I mean,
he's
Chris,
won. He's.
there's not much
Dude,
credibility you can give Ken Paxton.
dude. Yes, there is. Okay, he's won 2 statewide races already. Okay, the guy knows who he is. He's a very effective attorney general. He's been very good at what he does, and people like him. Okay, he's very popular. Very
over
popular.
giving credit to Jasmine Crockett for her hearings, and you're not going to give credit to a guy who's won statewide 2 times. Like that's just ridiculous.
Well, I mean, he was also impeached, so there's that.
Yeah, but that
Yeah,
didn't go
but
anywhere. I mean, that went
whatever.
nowhere, though. I mean, it went nowhere. It went to the Texas House, and then it died instantly as soon as it touched the Senate, because the Texas Senate's a completely different structure. So, that didn't do anything at all.
Walter,
Ken
do you know
Paxton's
why he
very
was
popular.
impeached?
Why
Do you
was
know
he
why he was
impeached?
impeached? We don't have to go in. We don't have
The
to go into
TV ads,
details.
the TV ads
But-
did its job. They were all over the TV ads. We don't need to go into it. Bottom line is, he's the candidate on the Republican primary for the United States Senate. He's won statewide 2 times despite all of the drama, and he's in a neck and neck race that potentially could be the nominee, or well, at least go to a run. It's going to go to a runoff. It's going to be Cornyn and Paxton in a runoff.
At a minimum,
So-
it's going to be that. Yeah, I will say the betting markets keep saying that Paxton's going to win still. So, I don't know. I mean,
He's gonna have some work to do. I mean, I was looking at some of this because Paxton's entire story fascinates me, and he's upside down on approval in Texas. Actually, according to the Texas Politics Project, that's UT, 34% approval, 43% disapproval. That's -9 in Texas as a Republican. Not great. And comparing that to Tallarico, here's the thing I always say is Tallarico may not have the name ID as Paxton does, being a twice elected statewide official, and of course with all the baggage that goes with that. But that's actually not a disadvantage. I would argue that's an advantage. It allows him to create the narrative, right? There's already a narrative around Paxton in Texas. People know who Paxton is. Tallarico now has the opportunity to tell the entire state of Texas who he is, which is a great advantage for him because you can control that. You can't control what somebody already thinks about you. You might have to go out there and try to change that, but in a hyper-partisan, polarized atmosphere where everybody is pretty, on the nose about how they feel about people, the actual advantage now is being able to tell your story for the first time.
Well, maybe.
So it's a tough
The
spot
one
for him to be in.
what I will say for Tallarico is that Crockett would have lost by 12. I think that Tallarico loses by 4. That's what I say. That's what I think happens to Tallarico. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but I doubt it. Even it doesn't matter which candidate it is. I think either of them, it's going to be the same result because this is Texas, and I just don't believe it. So it's going to be a hard race regardless. But at least Tallarico has a margin of error shot compared to Crockett, who had just lost badly.
And that's why I want Crockett to be the nominee.
Yeah, well, she's not going to be, though.
Not
going to happen.
The thing that I'm going to be looking at tonight is Hispanic voter turnout. I'm going to be looking at Hispanic voter turnout in conservative counties, and then once the final numbers come in on the Republican side, I'm going to be looking at that too and doing some comps. I put out some work way early on after redistricting started and made the hypothesis with number backing that the redistricting was going to hurt actually the Republican Party if the Hispanic voters started to march back to the Democratic Party, and then applied that to the national. But we're just talking about Texas here, and we'll see how this goes because that's actually part of Tallarico's coalition in this primary is Hispanic vote share, and I'll compare that back and forth. But I'm telling you, if the Hispanic numbers from 24 that carried Trump go back to what they were in 2020, and I'll take that one out because everybody knows 2020 an outlier on voter turnout. You go back to even 16, it goes back to what the Democratic voter share was. You're going to see some shifts. It's interesting. I think inside the margin is a good call. And then I like the comp between Tallarico's record, Presbyterian, seminarian, moderate, 8th generation Texan, against a guy that's got a lot of, let's just be honest here, character issues. And I'm not necessarily saying that's going to, completely crush him. But it's definitely going to come up in the race. And because of that comp, it kind of amplifies that a little bit.
Well, one thing it does, though, is it certainly takes resources from what would naturally be a solid red race, and has to focus more resources into Texas versus another Senate campaign or a federal race.
That's exactly right. And the big thing here, by the way, talking about resources, I was talking about this Maine earlier. John Cornyn has spent $69 million.
Nuts.
Insane. $69 million in this primary. You know how much Paxton has spent, guys? He spent $4 million. That is a travesty. Okay, I mean that is a huge problem for Cornyn if he is spending that much money and Paxton's is competitive and according to betting markets is going to win. That is that is something else. I mean, that's what I'll say. And the other part about that that's really interesting is I heard this earlier. I haven't been able to confirm this, but it sounds like Thune himself is the one that put a ton of the money into Cornyn's race. So it looks like the establishment GOP really wants Cornyn to remain the nominee. So what you're actually watching there is a true outsider, Paxton, to the GOP establishment, which has always been a battle. Now it is interesting. You see this switch with Crenshaw being out. Crenshaw, for everyone who doesn't remember who he is, that is our drunk pirate. That is, has never been popular amongst the base of the Republican Party. So it looks like he is officially out. But watching Cornyn and Paxton is going to be much more interesting. These Senate races are always where I actually pay a lot of attention to, because this is where almost all of the money gets spent, guys. And the fact that Cornyn's dumping that much money, $69 million, that is a hell of a lot of money to spend in a primary, guys. Now, think about the amount of money we could have spent on other things if we weren't doing this. But, it's what happens when you try to take out establishment members. And Cornyn is definitely an establishment member, so...
So it's interesting, and I think one issue that's going to come up in Texas, and this may be in the weeds on Texas politics a little bit. Don't know how many Texans we have here. One of the big issues in Texas is gambling. Major issue in Texas. Texas has gambling there essentially is illegal. They have card rooms and things of that nature. But that is a big deal. There is a lot of special interest money in gambling in Texas, and the biggest honeypot, if you will, of money in the gambling sector is the infamous one herself, Miriam Adelson. And Miriam has spent an ungodly amount of money in Texas lobbying people, because if you don't know, Miriam Adelson is part of Sands, which is one of the largest gambling conglomerates in Las Vegas, and they have gambling casinos all over the place. Now, in a state like Texas, which has no state income tax, they are rapidly progressing on removing property taxes there. The big concern in Texas is, where's the money coming from? Are we going to jack up fees? Texas has some of the highest fees in the country for stuff. This would, of course, the idea is reduce the burden on that when we go through the vice tax. And this is one of the things that kind of gave me pause about Tallarico, is that he is a big proponent of casinos. And I'm fine with that. I actually like, this is my personal political opinion, policies. I'm okay with finding alternative ways of revenue if it's paired with lowering income taxes and other taxes, right? I'm fine with that. And Adelson actually gave him money. Miriam donated, I think, like 60 grand to Tallarico throughout his career total, as he is a proponent of gambling. And I know Paxton is vehemently against it. So that's going to be something, because we all know Miriam Adelson loves to spend money on elections. If she gets involved in this race and pumps a lot of money into Tallarico here, that's interesting as well, because her resources are endless.
Yeah, that is
Well, and
interesting.
you also left out the horse racing, like sports
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
horse races. Texas, that's big money in Texas as well.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, and I know Adelson also partners a lot with Mark Cuban, so he's big into that stuff too.
Yeah, it's all about alternative ways to create revenue. As you know, I think I'm 39, much of the younger generation and stuff, we're all talking about ways to lower tax burdens on income. You're seeing it at the state level. There's a lot of chatter of how we do it at the federal level. If the states start doing it first and starting to figure that out, the first big one, of course, was Colorado when they legalized marijuana, started taxing it to fund schools and healthcare, things of that nature. You're starting to see this reverberate now in other states, including red states, including the one I'm sitting in Florida, and up in Maine as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes a hot button issue as we start to advance a little bit and get away from regressive tax structure.
Well, I mean, that you're right about that. Ohio has already followed suit on that. This has been spreading. I mean, now they've already got taxes for Ohio. They've got the sports betting is now legal here. This sports betting is almost every state now. And same with marijuana. It's starting to just go everywhere at this point. So you're right about that. So that's interesting. By the way, looks like there is a little bit of an update here. It looks like the numbers for Paxton on the betting markets are starting to come down a bit. Now, they haven't moved a whole lot, but I don't know what people are watching specifically here, because to me, I see, maybe 42, 43 Paxton Cornyn. That's what I think this is going to end at. I mean, we're at 55% in, and they're still saying that 68% that Paxton wins this. I don't see how they get that number, and I really don't. So, by the way, we've got 2 more minutes until the polls close there, and we'll keep watching this as we get in. I'm very interested to see what Crockett gets for numbers in Dallas.
Yeah, as soon as those come in, I'll let you know. I'll pop in.
Yep. All right, so we're going to keep watching that. It looks like there's not much of an update in terms of where the numbers are at currently, so we'll keep watching. The polls close in a couple minutes for Dallas, so we'll see that. And that'll be El Paso too, so that should be. El Paso should be a pretty interesting number for specifically for those Hispanic votes, so that should be pretty interesting to watch.
So what do you guys think in terms when we're looking at the current turnout right now? Obviously, it's overperforming in other off year elections. What does that say about heading into the general election in an early read? Obviously,
I'd say that turnout is amazing on both sides right now. This is actually surprising to me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, listen, I think we have a very polarized and very, very hyper partisan atmosphere right now, and I think people are motivated. But at the same time, I mean, we were just talking about how much money was spent by Cornyn. There's a lot of money right now being spent on ads, not just by campaigns, but by super PACs and everything else. And then you have the social media aspect to it too. I think people are very, very motivated. When I look at the polling and stuff like that, I'm not so much interested in each particular poll's numbers. I like the trend line, and the trend line I'm looking at more so than anything else is the independent side, or more importantly, the I don't knows or the undecided people, and seeing what that number looks like, right? Because if that number starts to shrink, that tells you how motivated people are. Now, I think the Texas Democratic side, because there's been such hype on this, because Crockett is a rock star on the internet, I think that's played a lot into it in turnout there. But then also with the Democratic side too, being the opposition party in midterms, that's already a rocket ship for turnout. That's why historically, when it comes to House and Senate races, the opposition party routinely either takes back some control or at least gain seats. So we'll see where it goes. But again, I told you what I'm looking for earlier. I'm looking at Hispanic turnout and what primaries they're voting in. That's going to be a true bellwether for the rest of the country, I think, going forward.
I agree with that. But in terms of numbers, just to give you guys some reference here, I mean, we've got roughly 1.2 million have turned out for the Senate for the primary for the Republicans, and almost the exact same number for the Democrats. That doesn't normally happen, guys. I mean, that's kind of incredible that we have that high of turnout. So this is a very high turnout race. And I think it actually has a lot to do with the fact that you've got unique candidates running. You do what we were talking about before. You got Tallarico, who's kind of an outsider to the normal Democrat establishment, and you also have Ken Paxton, who's running an outsider to the GOP establishment. So I think you're really seeing an anti-incumbent cycle. Really, I think that's what you're really starting to see, and I think that's probably going to play out in every state. And I think that's probably going to be something to watch, because you may see much higher turnout if they're trying to really go after incumbents in a lot of states. I think that's going to be very, very likely to continue. If you've seen this high turnout in this race, we'll see. I mean, there's not a lot of other states that you're going to see super rock stars that are going to be the same, but we'll see.
Yeah,
Look, I'm calling it, man. It's done. You're starting to get Dallas in now. Tallarico has widened his lead. It's now 54-44.5. He's up 9.9. He got 52% of the vote in. Some of it's starting to dribble in from the Dallas counties a little bit, Plano, a couple other places around, Louisville. This is cooked. He's up 10 now. It's now a double digit lead. So it won't be very long. We'll see more hard data from Dallas proper, but yeah, it's over. It's done.
Yep.
yeah. That's one of the things I was paying attention to on some of the polling. You know, everyone was focused on Trump's approvals and all those things, but I was looking at the energy on both sides. How are they motivated? Are you paying attention? The questions that were being asked in the bottoms of the polls, right? Because as most folks who have done polling know, it falls off when you really kind of start to get to some additional questions, and so just to see the energy on both sides told me people are paying attention, and I think that we're going to see a very active November at the polls.
Absolutely. That I agree with entirely. Looks like they've finished out for Greg Abbott. Looks like he's going to retain his primary position as governor. What a surprise there. Everyone's shocked. Looks like that's completely over. Doesn't look like we've seen much of an update here. Though I'm still wondering, what are these people watching in this Paxton race? I don't understand how this betting market is 68.
I've got breaking out of Dallas. This just broke in. At the request of Attorney General Ken Paxton, the Texas Supreme Court has halted a Dallas judge's order to extend voting hours. This came in at 9:52 p.m. Eastern. The court has directed election officials to set aside ballots cast by anyone who is not in line by 7 p.m. Central Time.
What?
That just came. Yep.
So that would
Just
mean
came in.
that doesn't
I
make
don't know
any
how
sense.
they're going to do that. They're going to, yeah, this just came in. Vote Hub's got it. Yeah. So what that would mean is if anybody in Dallas there was not in line, I don't know how you figure out if somebody was in line by 7. I can see how you casted a ballot by 7. They're going to put your ballots to the side and it'll go into the provisional pile, I would imagine. That's crazy.
That doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense. Why would they do that?
So I'm wondering how they're going to figure that out. I guess maybe it's based on like when they signed in, got to the table, within a matter of minutes from the table. I don't know how they calculate that.
Well, that does the weird
That's
part about
insane.
that is, but especially because the Republican Party didn't join this suit, right? So it doesn't have anything to do with Paxton's race. So why the hell are they even doing anything? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't know what he gains from this. I'm trying to find out if this is just Democrats or what. But yeah, this is insane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
this is
confusing
insane.
to me because what would Paxton have to gain by that? I don't even understand why you would do it in the first place. So there maybe this goes back to the open primary question. Is it really true that the Republican precincts were not allowed to vote after a certain time at all? I mean, what's the deal there? Because if he's trying to go after Cornyn's votes in Dallas, maybe that would make sense. But I don't understand it. So that's confusing. I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
So,
that's it. That's interesting. Another update, real quick. I don't know if we've talked about. I don't think we've talked about this race yet. Attorney General Chip Roy looks like he's getting mopped across the floor for Attorney General by Mays Middleton.
yeah, that's over, dude.
42-29. That one's over.
Yeah, there ain't no way he's getting anywhere there. Yeah, he's down
Yeah.
he's getting absolutely mopped on that. So that's interesting as well. But I guess I don't understand what the purpose of this would be. I mean, even if he was going after, if he was saying he was doing that something to do with Dallas for Cornyn, I mean, Cornyn's got 34,000 votes in Dallas and Paxton's got 20,000. I don't understand.
I'll tell you. Here's my thought on it. This is subversive. I'm going to put on my conspiratorial tinfoil hat here. Okay. Paxton knows Tallarico's going to win. Okay. Probably he's got somebody on his staff, some political nerd, stats guy like me that's telling him, yeah, he's going to win. She doesn't have enough vote share to overcome it. And Paxton's like, you know what? I'm going to fight that ruling and I'm going to shut it down. And I'm going to be subversive. So Crockett has a crash out, goes on TV and says, look, see, that I was going to win. And they shut down the voting and they're subversing your vote and creates a whole bunch of, I'm saying Italian rigmarole. Right.
Now, that would be interesting. That's
right?
a play,
That's
I
my
guess.
tinfoil hat.
Yeah, that's tinfoil hat on that. That's an interesting play. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really sure I buy it, but I mean, maybe.
Nothing else makes sense. Like, I don't understand why you would do it.
Well, maybe okay. Let's go along with what you're saying right now, right? I mean, because I don't think that's far fetched, but I think one thing would be for sure, right? Would be that this wouldn't be settled tonight. It would go into tomorrow, most likely. Correct?
I have no idea. Maybe.
And by the way, it's not just for Democrats; it's the entire city.
Well, if it's for the entire
now, that
city,
makes sense.
Yeah, if it's for the entire city, that makes a whole lot more sense then. Okay, because this is what we were talking about before. I was like, it did make sense when someone said that we were talking about this in the chat before. We were saying, well, wait a minute here. That doesn't make any sense that it would be because it's an open primary. If they extend the voting for certain areas, like why would it be just Democrat locations? And that never made any sense to me. So if that's the case, then that does make sense. Okay, because if Paxton can pull away, who knows how many votes that would be? A few thousand? I mean, maybe that's what he's going after here. I guess I don't know if I still buy it would help him that much though. Maybe.
Yeah, because you guys are probably getting some updated number. I mean, I'm looking at NBC, so I probably need to look at a different source. But it looks like in Dallas County, he had 52.7, 31.4. So that's what 14,000, almost 14,053 votes difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean but again, but those numbers, it doesn't even look like those numbers haven't updated in a long time now. Now maybe that's why Paxton's doing it though, because maybe he thinks that Cornyn's about to get a bunch more votes in Dallas or something. I don't know.
I'm reading the ruling again. I think. Okay, so it is just Democrats. The district court order granting an emergency position to extend voting hours issued today in case number blah 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 and blah 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 as Dallas County Democratic Party chair versus blah 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 has been stayed. Voting should occur only as permitted by Texas Election Code blah 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 blah. Votes cast by voters who are not aligned to vote at 7 p.m. should be separated. The permission for written mandamus remains pending. Okay, so here's what all of that essentially means. It's just Democrats polling districts in Texas. So the first tweet that's out there right now is bullshit. So it's not a final ruling, it's just a stay. So now this is going to slow all of the voting tabulation in Dallas on the Democratic side to a slow crawl until there is an addition ruling to this just to review it. So the stay is just okay, stop. We're going to review this and then we'll make another ruling. Take the votes of the people that are online at 7, not in line by 7, to the side and kick them over. Now you're going to hear you're absolutely. And by the way, if I was a consultant on Crockett's race, I would be screaming bloody murder right now. Absolute bloody murder. And by the way, Talarico people, if you're listening, and I've already sent texts out, you should be doing the same thing. Because this is, and by the way, I don't give a shit about, an attorney general or secretary of state, whatever it is. I think it's an attorney general, Paxton's attorney general making this. He's a fucking Senate candidate on the ballot and has made a writ or an appeal to the Supreme Court to stop voting in an election where he's on the ballot in Texas, right? That's crazy to me.
Yeah,
That's what I was going to ask. So it wasn't his
yeah.
campaign though. It was the Office of Attorney General.
In his role as a state official, which is that's crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't understand the purpose of it. I guess I'm still now. If it's truly only for Democrat voters, then I really don't understand the purpose of it. I don't know why he would even do it in the first place. I mean, that makes no sense. I mean, that makes no sense to me. It's only in Dallas. If it doesn't affect the Republican side of the ticket at all, what's the purpose? Like, what's the reason? I guess I just don't get. Maybe you're right, Jermaine. The only thing I can think of, I agree with you, is he's trying to go to crash out. Like maybe that's it. I mean, that's what other purpose would there be for that? I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
I guess the other thing when we talk about political theater, and some of these things, the other thing that would go into play possibly here would be that I think the MAGA base, the Republican base, has a lot of questions about the way elections are handled, right? Especially in some of these urban blue areas, right? So he could be playing to that to get it on the news that they're trying to extend voting again, and all those kinds of talking points. You know what I mean? So maybe that might go into it. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Maybe. I mean, but that's a weird play to do on election eve while the votes are being counted, while you're on the ballot. That is a very weird, like, how do you sell that? Like, how exactly do you present that to people in a way that they understand it? I guess I just don't understand. Maybe the intention is to say, well, we know that they cheat in Dallas or something. I don't know. But this is only for the Democrats on their party and their election. So I guess I don't grasp what the purpose of this is. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't get it. I'm lost here. I don't know why this is why they would do this, other than maybe again, going back to Maine's idea that they're trying to go to crash out of the Democrats or something. But it seems like a very strange play to do for that.
Very slick Republican. Walter, do you mind? I'll put it's just a really short thing I just tweeted. I'll put it up in the nest so you guys can read just a small brief if you'd like. It's very, very short. It's up there. Maybe you can find something that I haven't. I see Jordan's here. Jordan, I just want to apologize. I know you're probably very sad. Valentina Gomez's political career in Texas is over. I apologize deeply, sincerely. I know you guys are close. She lost to a 185-year-old man. Sad, very sad.
The guy was wearing sandals when Jesus was around. All right,
true. He actually made them with Jesus.
That's right. Emergency petition to extend.
Did she do more gun videos? Like, do you remember when she ran for Secretary of State? This has been a few years ago in Missouri. She finished like 4th She got blown out.
She fucking like lit a Quran on fire and got so close that she almost lit her hair on fire. Just incredible, disgusting behavior. And then like went into, I forget what church. She went into a church and stormed a church and started yelling about homosexuality being an abomination or whatever. And regardless of what your feelings are about homosexuality, I don't really care. But going into a church to start shouting at a pastor, like crazy stuff. And it's just like, cringe, and like, and I didn't know this about her because she ended up, I don't follow Valentina very often, but like there was a point where I started seeing her more and more on this app in my For You page, and I had no idea. And I put a tweet out, I was like, who is this crazy woman and why is she on my feed and why should I care? And
Yeah,
then I
and
got
Jordan Daly is a simp bitch, and Walter Kurt is a cuck faggot. And Maine, you're a Democrat.
Oh my God. What
Dude,
is the
bro,
purpose?
I can't even listen to music in peace, bro. Like you gotta get the
Jordan, you bring all these cats into the space all of a sudden, man, and they always crash out Walter's show.
Listen, people crash out on the show a lot, but like really, this has been like the most mild conversation we've had in like, I don't know, a few weeks probably. I mean, I haven't even been mean to anybody yet. And some useless person comes up here and decides to interrupt my show for what? I mean, just I don't understand. Like, do you think this is entertaining to you? I mean, you don't even make it into the conversation when you do that sort of stuff. I mean, you get removed within seconds. But, anyway, Lou is up here.
Bro,
Lou, how are you?
Get the Jaheim out of his mouth, bro. It's every day with this guy, every space, every day. It's either me or Sarah for 2 years almost, bro. You gotta stop, bro. Like you gotta go count.
Oh, is this
some money or
is this like a
something, dude.
stalker of yours?
No.
Yes, it's a Jewish man. I'm not even doing this. It's a Jewish man. He just hates everybody.
Oh, well, I don't care. Anyway, Lou, what's up?
Hey,
good
wait,
evening,
is it Andrew
guys.
Meyer?
Hold on. Lou, go ahead.
Yes.
Yes, good evening, guys. So
What's happening?
my question is, I'm looking here at this Gonzalez Herrera race. How is it possible that this man is in the lead when his aide turned herself into a Roman candle? I am just shocked.
Damn.
I hadn't heard that one
That's a hell of a take. And I've got to agree with you. I don't know how Gonzalez is doing as well as he is. To be honest with you, Gonzalez has been called by, half of the Republican caucus to drop out and not be part of this at all. So it is kind of amazing that he is, it looks like he's won essentially. So, his vote, his district must support him. I guess.
I'm just like flabbergasted, especially with all of the news that came through in the last like 2-3 weeks. And then the other question that I have is now, what are we putting bets on? What's the next state that Valentino and her brother's going to go and run for office and grift off of boomers?
I assume it'll have to be Florida. Maybe she'll head to Florida next. That's where she's heading next.
Arizona's closed. Can't come here. We got enough wackadoo candidates. Can't join us. But,
Yeah, maybe she'll run for like higher office in Colombia.
No,
Well,
I think it's going to be Florida. I mean, Madison Cawthorn got arrested again last week, so that's
did he
Byron
really?
Donalds'
Oh my
district.
God!
He did. Failure to appear. Yeah. So it's probably going to be Florida. Now, one thing on the Gonzalez race there in Texas 23, he's up by 5, but he doesn't have 50%. So there's that. That's most likely going to go to a runoff. Gonzalez is a Trump endorsed person. Trump endorsed Gonzalez before this scandal even happened. And then Trump was just in Corpus Christi and then shouted him out, which I thought was very interesting decision by him to do that based on what Gonzalez is going through right now. But it'll be interesting to see if he gets involved here in this, if it does end up going to a runoff, because it's 45-40. He's got, I'd say about a 1,600 vote lead, but there's about 45% of the votes still out. So,
by the way, we got Dallas.
That's a huge district.
We got some Dallas numbers in here. Dallas numbers for Crockett. She got 116,000. Tallarico got 73,000. Looks like 70% in for Dallas there now. So there's no way that's not enough. I mean, holy crap, dude. Tallarico's at 780,000 now. Yeah, no, there ain't no way. That's it. Tallarico's got it.
Yeah, so just adjusting. Yeah, he's up about exactly where I said. He's about up 4 now. That
I've got
just
him up
tells you how
6
big
right now. I've
Dallas
got him
is.
up 6 now, dude.
Yeah, I've got him 52.47, just about 52.47, 747 to 677. That'll go up a little bit, I'm sure. But yeah, listen, I said it earlier. It's going to be between 3 and 6 when it all is all said and done. I'm monitoring. I'm texting the people. I want to know what the mood is like at Jasmineville. By the way, if you're listening to me
Jasmineville.
and at Jasmineville, I was in a lefty space the other night and they all came after me. But I'm going to tell them because they like to follow me around now, and I'm sure they're anonymous. If both candidates are very smart, they should do a joint event tonight, right now, talking about Ken Paxton and voter suppression in Dallas, based off what just happened. They should do it together. It shouldn't be about either candidate or either candidate's campaign. It should be about the voters in Dallas, Texas, right now, because the campaign to beat Paxton starts right now. If you're listening to me, and I'm sure you are, because you all like send me crazy emails all the time.
Well, I will say that I read that order so that you put up there. I read it. I don't see anything, I don't understand it, to be honest with you. So we'll have to see what the hell the purpose of that was. I don't get it. And the people that are betting on Paxton that he's going to somehow pull this off with 60% in, he's down 35,000 votes. It's 43-40. It looks like that number's finally starting to fall on the betting markets for that. So about time. It's what I would say. I don't understand why people think that he was going to win this somehow. What happens if this thing goes to runoff? I need to read the terms of these things. What the hell happens if it goes to the runoff? If there is a runoff on these markets, does nobody technically win then, or do they just go by who had the highest polling numbers?
The House wins.
Yeah, the House wins. Yeah, everybody loses. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how that works. This is why I don't pay any attention to these betting markets normally, other than using them as like a polling data thing. But I will say that Paxton being up at 70% before, it's now 63%. I'll say that as a analyst, I would not be betting that Paxton's going to win outright at this point. I don't think so. We will see, though. Yeah, it looks like most of Dallas is in for, what are they at, 80% now? I don't think. Yeah, I think that's it. So Tallarico's definitely got the nomination. We will see if Jasmine Crockett crashes out. That would be very entertaining. I hope so. You guys are saying that she won't, but I think it would be very funny. So I'm here for the entertainment part. So let's go with yes.
The bait, Jasmine. Don't take the bait.
You do it. You do it, Jasmine. Trump has been calling you low IQ for months. Just go with it. Just go out there and completely crash out. Just go with it. Just do it. Just please.
Are we expecting them to speak? And Walter, I don't expect. I think Jasmine Crockett and her team right now are looking at the numbers and trying to find out where they did poorly, where they did good. I don't expect her to crash out. I don't think there will be a
listen, don't you ruin my dreams, okay? I've got real hopes that we're going to see this.
That coming. Like that would just be.
Yeah, but I know you don't see it coming. But I see this coming because this is just what I hope happens. All right, so stop raining on my parade here. I want to see a full-on explosion. Full-on TikTok video yelling and screaming about how this is racist. That would be my favorite thing ever. So
lashes flying.
Lashes losing lots of lashes, at least breaking 2 or 3 fake nails. That would make my day. The ghetto stiletto, if she crashes out, I would just love that. So whether or not it actually happens, I doubt it, but we'll see. But in terms of the rest of the race, looks like looks like they've now. Okay, it looks like they're actually calling it.
She could also go full Stacey and just claim she won the United States Senate and. Just like Stacey did in Georgia as governor.
You mean like Carrie Lake did, Chris?
Yeah, no. So I mean, then she could parlay it into getting like a crap load of money into a nonprofit. I mean, live the good life.
Okay, so
like Carrie Lake did in Arizona.
Okay, so it looks like. By the way, there's an update here. So it looks like they are calling it advancing for both Cornyn and Paxton. So they are calling that into a runoff now. I guess I don't understand the betting market. The betting market must include the runoff. That's the only thing I can think because it's still showing that Paxton can win by 62%.
It has
So
to. It has to. It
yeah.
absolutely has to. By the way, Jordan, you might still be in luck because up in the nest, Valentina Gomez has video evidence that her election has been rigged
Oh my
against
God.
84-year-old John Carter. So there is still hope for Valentina Gomez. So there's that, I guess.
What cracks me up about the Kerry Lake comment, real quick, Jared, is that Kerry wasn't going to win that race, but who was going to win that race?
She thought she.
Excuse me, hold on a second. Abe Hamida. Abe Hamida was going to win that race, and the Arizona GOP screwed him and stuck it to him, and the RNC didn't do a dang thing in terms of their election integrity unit to defend that. So it's always funny when people throw Kerry. I didn't think Kerry Lake was going to win the race, so
Yeah,
that's what's funny about it.
but Chris, Carrie Lake, Chris, and I like you. I hope you were just wish like a more honest analyst because you're just always just like it's just like one sided with you. I don't know what it is if you're like deep, 10 toes deep in MAGA, but like I can't even get like a. Anyways, Carrie Lake thought she was going to win the race, and that's all that matters. Okay, so that's why again. Stacey Abrams, I will concede. Even
The
Walter and I are
president of
former
the
governors.
universe.
Jared, that's Governor Abrams.
That's right. No, it's president of the
No,
universe.
I wasn't saying.
President
I'm
of
sorry?
the universe, Abrams. Okay, that is who she is. That if you guys don't know that reference, at one point they made her Stacey Abrams the president of the universe on Star Trek, and this was after she had denied losing the governorship in Georgia. So yes, she was the president of the universe. I don't know. Now I assume that Stacey attended the Quality Leering Center, but that's okay. Anyway, Lou, you got your hand
No,
up.
I was going to compare him to McAuliffe, former Commonwealth Virginia governor here, because he didn't. He was saying his race was stolen too.
Yeah, well,
So
Yeah, Walter.
Nobody sat with Stacey Abrams at lunch. I'll tell you that much, Walter. Nobody sat with that lady at lunch. She sat in the corner eating pudding and picking her nose. No one liked Stacey.
remember Jesse Waters
I
said
love,
he
I
actually
love
had a
her.
crush on her. Jesse Waters, Fox's Jesse Waters. He said he had a
I love
crush on her.
her. I love her. I love her. She
I
turned
love
Georgia into
her.
Florida. She
I
turned
love.
Georgia into Florida. Georgia is now a swing state.
Did
So
did
more
she
power to
really
her.
though?
no,
She
she
really
didn't.
did.
I'll tell you,
She really
Jesse
didn't.
Jesse Waters he's a little awkward on Fox. He's a nice guy. I like what he thinks. He just doesn't say it good. I don't know if anyone agrees with that.
No, most closeted guys. Never mind. Never mind.
Oh my God! All right, Lou, you've been trying to get in here. What's up?
Main, he's not closeted. He hits on all the Fox News
Okay,
No,
producers.
yeah, no,
Jared.
you guys gotta stop with that, dude.
Okay,
Now
Jared.
I'm back, dude.
Enough.
Don't talk about my mans like that.
Oh
All
my
right.
God!
Jesse?
All right, enough. Lou has been trying to speak. Go ahead, Lou.
Yeah, thanks, Walter. So a couple of things. One, I didn't catch what Maine called it. I thought he said Crocketville. Is that what you called it?
Yes. Yeah, or maybe it was
Yes.
Okay.
Jasmineville. Jasmineville.
Jasmineville.
Jasmineville with the lashes flying. Second of all, Jared, actually, Chris does know that Carrie Lake wasn't going to win. I'll tell you why, because we had actually conversation about the fact that Sheriff Lamb was the problem because there were a lot of people who were diehard Sheriff Lamb voters and would not vote for her, so they abstained. That's why there was that difference in the vote totals. And being from Arizona, I know because we had the conversation on the way to the voting booth whether or not I was going to pull the lever proverbially for Carrie Lake or if I was going to go with my conscience and vote for Lamb. So he was correct about Abe Hamadeh because I think that his vote was like maybe what was it, either 38 or 138 votes difference with Chris Mays, who has now said to people in Arizona, go ahead and fight back with ICE and see how that works out for you. And apparently, one of her inspectors shot a lady, a mother of seven, the other day on his front porch. So, yeah, yay.
What now?
Glad that didn't work out for us. You didn't hear that?
No, I hadn't heard that yet. My
Yeah, so
goodness.
a couple nights ago, mother of seven, 2:30 in the morning after the kids were in bed asleep, she went for a walk and somehow she ended up dead on this guy's front porch. Yep. And he works for Chris Mays, the Attorney General. I believe he is an inspector or some sort of person, but it's very hush hush. I'll DM you the news article that somebody DM'd me. But yeah, I think that this Cornyn and Paxton race going into a runoff. Do we know what the? I don't know all the rules, and I don't try to pretend like I know all the rules. Do we know what the rules or the percentages for a runoff race in Texas? Because
Yeah,
I'm wondering, are we?
yeah, it's if neither gets over 50%. So if neither of them get over 50%, or if any candidate doesn't get over 50%, then it goes to a runoff, and they've already called it a runoff at this point. So they're now saying that it's going to
Yeah.
be that it is Paxton and Cornyn going in and advancing. And it looks like as of right now, Cornyn has 592,000 and Paxton has 550,000. So it looks like that is definitely into a runoff. So that should be a pretty interesting race to watch, especially because Cornyn has apparently just way more money than Paxton does. So, that's going to be interesting. So that's going to be the one to watch. I know we were talking about whether or not Trump is going to endorse in that race or not. I don't know. I don't know on
Yep.
that one. So we will see.
I thought you said he was. You think he's going to absolutely endorse?
Well, but I
Just
said he was going to absolutely endorse. But Maine brought up a really good point in that Trump enjoys groveling, and Trump might
yeah. I
convince
said the same
Cornyn to
thing
grovel.
yesterday.
I didn't see you say that, but I mean, my point is that Maine's good point is that Trump will accept groveling if Cornyn shows up and is truly on his knees groveling to Trump. Then he actually may endorse him. We'll see. And he's got more money, and Trump will accept money for endorsements, I'm sure. So, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's an outright impossibility, but I do think, I mean, I don't see Trump making an endorsement in the next 15 weeks. I think he's going to sit back. He's going to be asked by reporters once and again. And he's just going to say, both great guys, both great friends of mine. Unless something terribly happens in the next few
No,
weeks.
I don't know about great
Maybe,
friends of mine because the only reason that this is even happening is because Trump didn't like Cornyn. So, I mean, there's going to have to be significant groveling before there's an endorsement of Cornyn. So, we will see.
well, I mean, he's not technically a foe of his. I mean,
I mean,
Trump has said positive things about Cornyn in the last few weeks, at least. So, I mean, he's not like, the MAGA senator, right? But he's also not like, a Mitt Romney type either. So,
true. I mean, it's not that bad. Well, we'll see. I mean, I think the real issue with Cornyn was from probably over a year ago at this point. Some of the issues that Trump and him had on a couple things, but I'm not too worried about it. We'll see. We will see what the
what do
next.
you think, Walter? Yeah, question for you. What do you think? Because, and I'm cautioning a lot of people on the left because a lot of times in the runoffs, diehards are the ones that get out and vote. So the diehards would be obviously fans of Ken Paxton. There's not really, or the diehards would be, fans of Jasmine Crockett, a
Let
firebrand.
me tell you.
Um,
Let me tell you how this plays out. Okay. It is whoever can get Wesley Hunt to like them the most. That is who's going to win that. Okay. I mean,
I
Wesley
don't.
Hunt has 178,000 people that got out to vote for him. All it takes is Wesley Hunt to endorse one or the other. And then, if you get 40% of his votes go transfer straight over, it's it. Okay. So, I mean, that's it. So, I mean, that's all you get. So it's whoever can get Wesley Hunt to actually enjoy them and actually endorse them. That is who's going to win this race. So Wesley Hunt has become the kingmaker for the Republican primary in Texas now.
Is that a question? Like, because I think most of us think that Wesley Hunt's going to endorse Paxton. I mean, he's not going to endorse Cornyn. So,
Well, I mean,
Hey,
he could choose not to endorse.
he could choose not
sure,
to.
So
sure.
that's always a question.
Listen
That's
to me.
always an option.
Listen to
Right.
me. It is an option, okay? Because you listen to me. Wesley Hunt just became the kingmaker in the Senate primary here, so that means that Wesley Hunt gets to make all the decisions, and that includes you pay me a lot of money too. So I mean, like it depends, okay? There's all sorts of options that can happen as a result of this, but I'll tell you right now that Wesley Hunt is now the person that gets to decide at primary. It's whoever his voters go to. With 178,000, Sarah Candy and Aaron Bender or Anna Bender, neither of them matter. 1% each. That's not important. 12%, yeah, that matters. Okay, so that. Wesley Hunt has become the kingmaker in the Senate primary for the Republicans. Man, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah. So other things in Texas, Mark Teixeira, future Hall of Famer. I'm not sure if he's in the Hall of Fame yet, but future Hall of Famer, played for the Yankees, won a couple World Series. He's in Texas 21. He's going to win his primary. No runoff. He's good there. Gonzalez's vote share has dropped. He's down to 44.8 to 40. So He's still up, but he's got 44% of the votes still out, but he still hasn't gotten to the 50%. So that's going to go to a primary. That's the most interesting thing in Texas right now, because if that goes to a runoff, Trump's got to get involved in that race, right? Like he endorsed Gonzalez in a Congress where the margins weren't as thin. He undoubtedly resigns, undoubtedly. And I think they're holding him back from that. Same thing with this guy Neil Dunn in Florida, who has a terminal illness, and apparently, from what we're hearing in Florida, he's only got a few months to live. Apparently, it's a really bad cancer diagnosis, and he hasn't resigned yet either, because of the margins. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. That's arguably the most interesting thing to me in Texas is that race,
Yeah,
which,
that
by the
actually
way,
is
is
reasonably interesting. I don't know anything about Brandon Herrera. Looks like
yeah.
he is crept up a lot. This looked like it was just a washout for Gonzalez, but now it's 2,000 vote difference, so that could very
That's why I
well.
asked you about that rule,
Hmm.
because I was like, this is getting close. What is the exact rule for a runoff?
Get 50% plus one,
Yep.
right? So, and by the way, the other part of that vote share, Brandon Herrera's got 40%. There's two other candidates in the race. Barton, he's got almost 9%. Conseco's got just over 6.
Yeah.
So there's another 15 points up for grabs there. By the way, if you don't know this district, it's House District 23 in Texas. It is enormous in area. It covers 800 miles of the border between Texas and Mexico. It's enormous.
That's interesting. Well, I mean, that has turned out to be pretty interesting, and I agree with you. I was kind of confused why we were seeing Gonzalez do so well, especially with all the crap that came out. Like, if you can't run attack ads on that guy, the guy that his staffer literally lit herself on fire, I mean, I'm not sure how you can't, how can you not outperform that? So, I mean, I'm not sure how exactly this guy did as well as he did. But maybe his district just really likes Roman candles. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm confused.
He actually did good. Are you guys saying Tony Gonzalez did good? I totally forgot about that race. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
He's
dude,
ahead.
he's
He's up by
ahead.
5.
He's up by
What?
he's up by 5 points, dude. That's what we're talking about. That's why it's
I mean,
interesting.
It's gonna
not
it's gonna go to
October,
a
but
run.
that's an October surprise. I mean, like, what the heck? How is like everyone, like all the Hill reporters, I mean, like thought that he was going to get defeated like instantly. I mean, it was
Listen,
literally like
That's why that's why we're talking about it, dude. Because we're at 70% in right now, and he's up 5 points. Now, maybe it's just because the name ID and people don't pay any attention. And I have no idea, dude. But Gonzalez is still up 5. Now, keep in mind though, this is a small turnout for this. There's only 30,000 votes total in it so far. So Brandon Herrera is down 5 points, but that's only 2,000 votes. So, for all we know, maybe he could pull it ahead. I mean, in the last 30% here, they're not calling it. They're not also saying it's a runoff. So, I mean, we'll see here. I mean, it's possible that that something else changes here. I mean, a few thousand votes is a big difference in this race. So,
interesting because like obviously even when I was in DC I was hearing about it. Several lawmakers, I mean Lauren Boebert, were all calling for him to resign. Mike Johnson, I believe he pulled him in the speaker's office and spoke with him as well. So
yeah,
that's crazy that I'm hearing
the fact that this guy
Yeah.
stayed in the race was kind of amazing to a lot of people. I didn't think he would. I mean, it's not like this is like a competitive district really for Republicans normally. So I'm kind of confused why he stayed in, especially with all of the baggage. Why give anybody the ability to run on your staffer set herself on fire? That is like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I get not
I think
resigning
it's
with the
interesting.
margins. I get not resigning with the margins, but staying in the race so
Running.
that somebody else is crazy.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I really
Maine,
don't.
Maine, you and I had a debate. So Maine, so Maine and I actually had a debate about the freaking story. If it was
Yeah, I
niche,
told you. As soon as
we
that
had
story
like a
came,
lot.
by the yeah, this story came out back in October, and it didn't get a lot of play then.
September.
Yeah, it came out really early down in Texas, obviously, and then I heard about it in Maine, like second week of October. With some people, I go to Texas quite often, and I had heard about it. I'm like, wow, this is gonna be a big story. And then it when Herrera started to push it is when it started to get
Yeah.
national play, and we started talking about it in the group chat, and I was just like, this is gonna be a major thing. What I found fascinating was, if I'm Barton or Conseco and I know I have no chance, right? And obviously, I don't know those two gentlemen, but I'm going to assume they have some pretty strong opinions about Tony Gonzalez, where they just wouldn't be like, yeah, fuck that guy. We're out. We're gonna back Herrera,
Yeah.
right? Like that's more surprising to me than anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would say. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they were hoping that they could do something. I mean, maybe again, you got to think about it in terms of actually managing to weasel your way and get a little bit more power. If you're somebody that knows you can't win, you stay in the race, and then you tell Herrera, hey, you give us something, you give us positions, in your staff or something along those lines. Who knows? I mean, maybe that's the trade that they're looking for, and then they'll back him and make sure he wins in the runoff. Who knows? But I will say that the fact that Gonzalez stayed in is crazy to me. The fact that he stayed in is nuts. I don't know who his consultants are, if he has any, if anybody even remained with him as consultants. They better be being paid triple. I mean, that is something else. The fact that he's even there in the first place. All right, Michael, you got your hand up, buddy. You came up here. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on, bro? Chris, how are you? Lou?
Hey, what's up, Mo?
Hey, man, it's a long time no see. Hey,
Yeah, man,
There's a
great to see
crash
you, man.
out happening by Crockett, by the way, Walter. There is a crash out happening.
Is there really?
Is it?
Yes.
Is it
Let's
Brandon
go.
Herrera?
Where is the
Is
betting
it
market on that? I would have fucking made. All right. Sorry. There is a crash out happening actually, though. Seriously, like, is there actually
Yeah,
one?
there's a clip of her on MS Now, the
Yes.
newly rebranded MS Now, Maine. Just FYI.
Let's go. The
I
crash
missed
out
it. What was it?
continues.
I missed it. Say it again.
MS Now has a clip with Jasmine Crockett. They did an interview, and I guess apparently she's crashing out. I just saw it. I haven't got a chance to listen to it because it was
Let's
on the space.
go.
I was in the space, but
I'm willing to assume that it's going to be all about the closing, the Paxton order. That there's no doubt. I told you that was going to be the bait, for sure, 100%. I told you that's my one tinfoil hat moment tonight, is that this Paxton thing was an absolute, bait on a fishing rod here, and she went for it. I really hope it's focused on that, and she's not screaming about. God knows what. I love her style. She represents a very, very progressive blue district, so she's going to be a firebrand regardless, and it's pretty authentic to who she is. But like tonight, when you lose like this, and we're in a Senate race, like this is one of those moments where this is like, all right, this is our guy, and Ken Paxton for sticking
Well,
his nose in a Democratic primary.
Well, I hope that it's the opposite and that she is just crashing out screaming that Tellerico is racist or something. That would just make my day. So that's very funny. Very funny. I hope that the crash out video, I'm going to have to watch it after we get off the show. I got a couple new people that came up with the show this evening, though. Michael, you were trying to finish talking, so let's finish what you were saying, and then I'm going to get over to a couple new people. So go ahead,
I
Michael.
appreciate it. Yeah, so Brandon Herrera, wasn't he one of the guys from CBP?
Oh,
Isn't
yeah,
he
I think he
from
might be.
being in Customs Border Patrol?
I think so. Maybe you're right about it.
Yeah.
The name, now that you say that, it makes me kind of reminds me of that. I'm not sure, though. I'd have to look into him. I don't really know a whole lot about him.
He's
Yeah, I
the
don't think he
AK
actually.
guy.
I don't think he actually came. I think he came into the district. I don't think he's actually from that district, but he, I think maybe from his name recognition, he wanted to get into it because, the guy's obviously, got a tough road to hoe. But also I saw One Eye McCain lost. Thank God. That was pretty bullish.
Yeah.
Patch.
Yeah.
Crenshaw.
Patchy's out. I'm gonna miss
Yeah.
making fun of him on the timeline and him crashing out on me drunk as hell. It's kind of like Don Bacon in that way.
I guess no more
I guess
insider
apparently.
trading.
I guess apparently going on a drunken rant against Sean Ryan probably wasn't a great closing message for a campaign, but
Yeah, right. There's quicker ways to
Oh,
fall.
I
man.
saw him
I
sweat
guess you could say.
I heard his voice and saw him sweat and I was like, okay, yeah, this dude's drunk.
And I saw
Listen to me.
Valentina.
Listen to me. I
saw-
didn't get involved in any of that because I just don't have any interest in Dan Crenshaw. I didn't really have any care, but I've got a great video of him hammered drunk at the Black Tie and Boots in DC. So, I have a great bit of if it was really necessary, I would have done that, but it looks like he's going to be just fine. I offered it, but I didn't think it was necessary to win this race. Looks like he's out anyway.
Yeah, Alex Stein, hates that fucking guy. So I'm
A
sure
whole lot of
Alex
people don't like
probably-
Dan Crenshaw, dude. A whole lot of
Yeah.
people. He
I
pissed a
saw
whole lot of people.
Valentina, that lady, the Hispanic lady, was bitching about her. She got robbed and,
Oh,
and
yeah.
all that stuff as well.
Don't worry, she'll run in
disrespect,
Florida
that's
next.
Jordan's wife. That's Jordan Daly's wife.
Listen,
Don't
she
disrespect
don't worry.
Jordan.
We're convinced that she's coming to Florida next, Michael. So you'll get to see more Valentina soon.
man, you can't deport the big booty Latinas, bro. I'm telling you.
Walter, I got a fun one for you. You ready?
Yeah, what's that?
So, Loving County, Texas. Loving County, Texas. 95% of the votes are in the Republican primary for the Senate. 95% of the votes. There are 16 votes in Loving County, Texas. And the winner of Loving County, Texas tonight in the Republican senatorial primary is not Ken Paxton. It is not John Corden. It is a woman named Virgil Bierschweil. Virgil Bierschweil coming in, winning 9 votes to John Cornyn's 7, 56 to 44. Ken Paxton shut out in Loving County, Texas. 16 votes.
What is Loving
Wow.
County? Where is Loving County? Where the hell is that? Oh, that's all the way over.
Virgil has to be like the mayor or like county commissioner or maybe like a really popular English teacher.
Oh, well, here, I just went over to Loving County, Texas. How many people live in this county? Is there like 7 people total? I mean, what the hell? I mean, I just
Sounds
went
like
over
my grandmother's house.
dude, I just went and looked at the the Democrat party, and Jasmine Crockett's got 6 votes there, and Tallarico has 4. I mean,
Where's it at in West Texas?
this is this is the middle of nowhere, West Texas, so it's east of El Paso, right there up on the edge of New Mexico. So I assume there's like 45 people that live in this county. Like
I googled. It's in the Permian Basin. It's an oil town. 64 was the population in 2020.
Wow.
It's gone down. It's gone down since. It's now 48 according to 2024 numbers. 48 people. And by the way, the county covers about 670 square miles.
Yeah, that's Texas for you. Yeah. You know, Texas, one of the few states in the country you can drive for 12 hours and still be in Texas. But yes, it looks Loving County. But Virgil Bierschweil, yes, looking like he's got 33% of the vote in that county. Do you think they just get together and come up with like the funniest person and can get on the ballot? Like, I mean, what do you do in a county of 45? I mean, like, that's something else.
Yeah, I bet you they're all related too somehow. You know, you guys were talking about Neil Dunn in Florida, in Florida Congressional District 2. So the chairman of the Florida GOP, Evan Power, is the front runner to replace him on that. You know, the Panhandle area is pretty conservative, so you know, I'm pretty sure Evan will more than likely get elected to that seat. But yeah, you know, Neil's not doing well. He's probably not going to be with us much longer, unfortunately. But you know, I can pretty much let everyone know it's still going to remain a Republican seat.
Interesting.
I googled Virgil Bierschweil. He is a committee man. He's a Navy veteran, and he raised a grand total of $10,000 for his Senate race. So you know what?
He got a new truck out of it. Not bad.
Sir. You won your home county. Salute, congratulations, and you can literally say you beat the ever-loving shit out of Ken Paxton. You shut out
And
Ken
John
Paxton.
Cornyn.
And John Cornyn.
Cornyn
Yeah.
got some votes. Cornyn got some votes. He shut out Ken Paxton.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, listen, $10,000. Okay, for all these candidates that come on these platforms, Maine and Walter, and they talk about how I don't need to raise money to win an election, but you know, Virgil over here in a town of 10, you know, or a place of 46 people raised $10,000. Virgil should be like a campaign fundraising consultant.
Yeah.
Bro,
Oh
that's
man.
like $1,400 a person.
Yeah, that's a lot, dude. He's done pretty damn well for him. Now, the question is, was it all his own money that he raised for this? That's a good question. How much of that $10,000 came from Virgil himself? You know, maybe he's trying to figure out how to get a tax break here. I'm not sure. Very entertaining, though. I went over and looked, by the way, so it looks like in the gubernatorial election, Greg Abbott has managed to get 26 votes in Loving County. So he's got half of that whole county voted for him. That is impressive. That the governor of the state managed to get half of an entire county to vote for him. Impressive stuff, incredible stuff, and good work. You gotta love it. Loving County, middle of nowhere. By the way, I just looked at a couple of the other counties around over there. It looks like all of them are about, you know, as populated as Loving. Not many people live in West Texas.
Because I'm a nerd, I was just fascinated by this. He only contributed $2,300 to his own campaign. This man raised $7,600 to run for the Senate. That's pretty good, old man. That's pretty good. And
Yeah.
he's got, according to his last financial records, the FEC records, he's got 331 bucks on hand. So there you go. Throw yourself a little party, man. Congrats.
There we
Yep.
go.
There we go. Virgil's out here sending lessons to candidates on how to raise money.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, Matt Tardio, what's up, buddy? You came up here.
Yeah, brother. Hey, did you happen to hear about the 3 Austin PD officers that were about to face a grand jury for shooting the terrorist over the weekend?
No, I did not hear that yet. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
wouldn't you like to?
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
definitely like to. Let me hear about this.
Yeah, so their attorney came out earlier today. His name's Doug O'Connell. And I happened to reach out to him for an interview because I'm hosting American Journal for InfoWars tomorrow morning, filling in for Brianna. And he put this post out earlier that says the Austin Police Department has asked my team to represent the 3 heroes that took down the terrorist killer who attacked our community. Unfortunately, they will face a grand jury hearing, as is the process directed to the Travis County District Attorney by the Wren Collective. We will be with them every step of the way. Rep Little and I will be happy to visit with you about the grand jury reform. And then they take it a little bit further and they go down further to clarify that the investigation is still taking place. However, as is, um, customary down there, basically that's what's going to happen. And he said later, he said, sad but true, in Austin, the Wren Collective requires the DA to have a grand jury consider charges every time a police officer uses force. And the DA completely controls the grand jury and decides what evidence they see and what they are prohibited from seeing. So all of this stems back to George Floyd era crap from BLM. And the Wren Collective is nothing other than a 501c3 that puts forward a bunch of BS crap out there. All right. Things such as here's an article from them from February 20th that's titled Straight Out of the Dictator's Playbook: How to Declare War on Journalists. And it actually backs up knuckleheads. What the hell was the name of that stupid ass reporter that broke into the church and harassed all those people?
Oh, Lemon.
Yeah, just trying to back up Don Lemon and people like that. Well, there was such a stink raised out of this on social media. I'm so happy I got this guy a freaking interview tomorrow. That the DA came out just hours ago. Hours ago, this DA has came out and said he's not going to be seeking charges against the officers involved in the shooting. But that still doesn't solve the freaking problem that they're working. I'm not letting this bastard off the hook. That still doesn't solve the problem that they're working with this nonprofit organization to try to do criminal justice reform. And every time an officer uses force, they face a grand jury in Austin. Now, here's the problem with that. When you go before a grand jury as a district attorney, you are bringing criminal charges for them to decide whether or not there is probable cause to indict those officers. Meaning, right, that the district attorney, right, is bringing forward charges and asking a grand jury to determine whether or not they have them. And typically in your criminal justice system, apparently, rather than in Austin, Texas, you are innocent until proven guilty. Well, in Austin, Texas, you are guilty until proven innocent by a grand jury if you're a police officer and you use force. And to be clear, this force can be anything, right? Such as striking somebody, tasing somebody, hitting them with a freaking baton, punching them in the face, pulling your firearm. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Who's the nonprofit?
The Wren Collective.
The Wren Collective.
Yeah, well,
Wren
I guarantee I would not be surprised if they're another one of the far left groups that we've been investigating for quite some time now that have all sorts of interesting amounts of money for some strange reason that no one can seem to understand. So we'll have to look into the Wren Collective.
They are. They're in all these major areas. So like I have a report by the Police Officers Association, Matt. I don't know if you've seen it or not.
No, send it.
Yeah, I got to pull it right back. I got to pull it back up and I'll send it over to you. They outline like these policies of these people, like highlighted specific areas like Chicago, St. Louis, Austin. You know, they go through obviously Minneapolis and a host of these other areas.
Yeah. I mean, I heard it's the exact same thing over in Minneapolis, which now that I know that this has taken place, it's just flat out pissed me off. And I'm putting these bastards on blast.
They're consultants inside the office.
That's
Correct.
nice. That's nice. Well, I'll have to look a bit further into the Ren Collective. And Matt, we'll have to talk about that a little bit more because that sounds pretty damn interesting to me. And I'll definitely have to watch that interview tomorrow. We are running low on time, though, guys. I want to go over to Matt Lagos because he is a Texan, and we have been talking about Texas all evening. What's up, Matt? How are you?
Hey guys, yeah, thanks for inviting me in. I know I'm new to the space, but yes, I live in Dallas County, so I can kind of shed some insight on what's been happening with the voting. So first of all, me as a Dallas County voter, I actually got a mailer from Dallas County Elections, and I'm happy to put it up in the space, and it clearly says where your vote may have changed. On a primary election day, March 3rd, your polling place may be different. So they were mailing out stuff to us voters saying, hey, just FYI, you can vote anywhere you want on early voting, but if you go on election day, you may vote somewhere different. So I hope the Crockett campaign tries to not make too much of this. I just looked at the Secretary of State's website for how close it is between Crockett and Tallarico. At the moment, he's up by, I think it's
a lot.
Well, no, it's actually squeezed now that the Dallas County result has now been posted. He's up by 11,000 votes.
In Dallas County, maybe.
No, statewide. This is statewide. I'm looking at this Texas Secretary of State's
Secretary
website.
Wait a minute here. Oh, sorry. You're on Texas Secretary of State. I'm looking at decision. This is 270 to win here. I'm seeing that Tallarico is up 52-46. So
okay, well, I'm seeing different numbers. So right now he's
how many total votes on the Secretary of State website do they have for Tallarico?
511,307.
Okay, yeah, you're way behind, dude. So Tallarico has 837,000 votes as of right now on.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
Well, just
right,
letting you know. I mean, it sounds to me like the numbers on that website are just outdated. It looks like the total as of right now is Tallarico has 837,000. Jasmine Crockett at 745. So I would just check that. But that is interesting. No, you're fine. Right. You're fine. It just letting you know where the numbers were as of right now. If Jasmine Crockett makes a big mess out of it, I don't know, but we'll see. Okay, I got to go over here because I'm running low on time here, so I got to go over here. Right. Chief Trumpster, what's up, Chief Trumpster?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm very happy that Crenshaw lost his primary. I am so happy. I am like celebrating victory dance, all of that. Crenshaw, he has just been like a really bad representative, and I'm so glad that he's gone. I'm not sure if you guys have the exact same feeling or not, but we are celebrating here. We are so happy, and I'm very glad that he did not win. So
yeah, well, like I said before, Crenshaw made a lot of enemies, and he pissed off a whole lot of people in his drunken tirades on the timeline. I am gonna miss those. There's only a couple Republican congressmen that do that. And I'm going to miss those. I mean, Don Bacon is another one of those people that does that sort of thing. And I'm going to miss absolutely screwing with these people because their egos, when they get online and they get hammered drunk and go out to their events, it is very entertaining to mess with them. So,
and also we had Crockett lose. Those Democrats have just been so racist, and they've rejected her. I mean, it's so
apparently there's been a crash out. So as soon as we get off the show, I'm going to go find the crash out so I can watch it because I really want to see the crash out. So I was betting on a crash out. The two Democrats that were in the show this evening were telling me there's no way there's gonna be a crash out. I was like, yes, there is. There is definitely gonna be a crash out. I can't wait to watch it. So it looks like we actually did get a crash out. So I'm definitely gonna go watch that as we get out of the show this evening.
In fairness to Maine, he said she should make a case, but do not crash out.
Yes, that's true. That's true. He said you go out there and talk about Cornyn. Don't go out there and crash out. And it looks like she went out there and crashed out. So I can't wait to go watch that. Let's see here.
I hope.
What happened to the guy from Texas, the retard that always holds up the signs and shit? The old man, Jesse Green. Jackson's brother, Al Green. What happened to him?
Al Green.
Al Green. Oh, I did see, and let me see.
I think it's going to runoff, right? Because I saw like about 30 minutes or so ago, he was down like I'd say 4 points.
Oh, actually, so that's interesting. So that's definitely going to a runoff. But Christian Menefee actually beat him by 5 points. So that's interesting. So that probably will go to a runoff. It looks like there's 95% in there. But Christian Menefee is at 48. Al Green is at 43. Interesting. Looks like his rating for winning this is actually down. Looks like the challenger to him, Christian Menefee's got a 95% on Kalshi. So that is an interesting one. We will get to lose Mr. Al Green. His days of being useless and retarded in Congress will be over. Oh well.
It looks like he got impeached.
Oh well.
I will miss the signs. I will miss the signs.
And his cane. I'll miss his cane the most of all. Man, what a moron. What a moron. Guys, we are running out of time this evening, so we are going to have to head out. But we will be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. for more of the Political Theater. I appreciate everyone who comes to the show, guys. Thank you guys for coming here this evening. We will see you guys tomorrow night. Make sure you guys follow up my speakers up here. I've got good speakers that came up here this evening. Make sure you guys subscribe to the people that you can subscribe to. Check out WCDispatch.com. I got a lot of stuff on there, you guys. We've got the interactive Medicaid map that is still up and running. There's a lot of other features that I'm starting to add to the website as we continue to go along here. And there's going to be more stuff coming down the pipeline over the next couple weeks. So make sure you guys check that out. And we will be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. more of the Political Theater. Thanks, guys. We'll see you guys next time.
Some folks are born with a liberty spark. Their hearts beat red, white, and blue. When the anchors sneer and the cameras bark, they turn the lens right back at you. Truth bound, ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're not the party line sons, no, it ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're the vigilant ones, so. Some folks inherit silk-lined halls, spend our sweat while preaching share. But when the tax man wraps his knuckles raw, their mansions suddenly look bare, impaired. Ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're not their banker-raised hairs, no. Ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're the vigilant ones, so. Yeah, some paint stars on press room lies and send the common men to toil. Ask them, how much truth will you trade tonight? They mutter, more noise, more noise, more noise. Ain't for sale, ain't for sale. Not the theater's pawns, friend. It ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're America's steadfast ones. No, we won't be spun.